y'all, welcome back to my channel, and today I have some stories and experiences I want to share with you all about me renting my cars and hosting on Turo. And before I get into the video, if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below. That will help me grow. And if you're new, thank you for clicking on. I hope you like it here, and let's get into the video. All right, y'all, so I do want to share like a few stories and experiences that I have hosting on Turo. And Turo is just an app where you can go to rent cars. You can also host on there and rent your cars, whether you want to start like a business fleet or your personal vehicle, you can start on Turo. I personally started off being a renter on Turo. When I was younger, before I can like go to like the big dealerships like Enterprise or Hertz or whatever, you know how they charge the extra fee. I went to Turo. You can go to Turo and just rent local people cars like in your area. Sometimes the host, they can bring it to you, like drop the vehicle off to you, deliver the car. When you're traveling, sometimes they can bring it to the airport to you, drop it off to you, you know, things like that. Pretty much things like the big rental places can't do, right? So I started off being a renter on Turo when I was younger. It was okay. Didn't think much of it. Used the rental app maybe like once or twice years ago. Then comes COVID. I was working in a hotel, and then I got laid off of my job. Did I get laid off? No, it wasn't until after I stopped working at that hotel I was, furloughed or whatever. But it was around COVID time, and my boyfriend and I, we were exploring. We always had entrepreneur mindsets, and we were exploring like ideas of how can we make extra money during this time instead of just collecting the unemployment. You know what I mean? So I remember Turo, and he was on board with it. He actually was down with the idea. He went full force with the idea. We did research. I believe I will make another video after this explaining how to make money on Turo, qualifications, the requirements, and all of that good jazz. I'll get into that on another video. But this video, I just want to share my experiences hosting on Turo. And then, we got into the idea of posting a car on there, and let's see how much we can make on there. So this was a mistake that we did. And in another video, I will get into this. But so we had our personal vehicles, but for Turo, you have to have like a specific year. It can't be like very old. It has to be within like a certain amount of years old for the vehicle to be qualified to be posted on there. So neither one of our cars was in the qualifications, and we had to get a vehicle. So my boyfriend, he went ahead and he financed the vehicle. He financed the vehicle. We got pre-approved, and we went and got a vehicle. The first vehicle we had was a 2016 Honda Sonata. It was the color white, very good car. It was good on gas, very big body, a 2016 Honda Sonata. So we go finance the vehicle, and we get it. We take pictures, we clean it up really good. We go ahead and order accessories for inside of the car, get it all nice and stuff like that. So one thing we did do that was smart, and again, I will go over this in another video on how to, we got a tracker, which was a great idea, but it also caused some things in the end. However, I'll get to that part. We post the car on Turo. Everything was nice. When you go to Turo, when you download the app and let them know that you want to be a host, we have to speak to one of the representatives. We went through all of the jazz, did the uploading of the vehicle, got everything settled. Boom, we on there, right? So we got our first booking. So it comes to this specific lady and her family. She rented our car. I'm not sure how many days it was. They were down. She was traveling. She was down here in Miami for like a couple days. She had the car for like 3, maybe 4 days. I believe it started off with her having an issue with the car. So she contacted my boyfriend. They can contact us. She messaged him, and she's blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure what the issue was. I don't remember. I just know that there were an issue. So we was like, okay, and we tried to handle the issue. I think we did handle the issue. I'm not sure. I don't remember the specific details of that. I just remember she contacted us because it was an issue, right? So my boyfriend and I, we handled that. The night goes on, and he gets a notification from Turo saying that she wants a refund for her trip. A refund. She's now, mind you, she's had the car at least 2 or 3 days at this point, and I think she had about another day or two to go before she returned the vehicle to us. So that was like, it was crazy. So she wanted a refund, and they gave her a refund. That's how Turo worked back then. So we were messaging her like, okay, so you disputed some things and got a refund with Turo. We want our vehicle back. And she wasn't responding to us. She was not responding. We were calling her. She was not responding. We were texting. She was not responding. I just remember us that night. We were very anxious. Like, we were thinking about it, and we were just like, wow, this lady done got a refund and she still have our car. And so we was like, we ain't having that. So guess what? We had our tracker on the car. So I go ahead and pull up the location on the tracker, and I see that she's about maybe an hour 20 minutes away. So again, we were anxious. This was like our first few times getting in a groove of hosting and getting renters for our vehicle. So we were a little anxious, right? And so I pull up the tracker and I see where she was. We immediately, my boyfriend and I, we get up, we go in the car, and I pull up where she was. We driving far. We going to get our car from her, right? Because she asked for a refund and Turo gave her a refund. It was the strangest thing. Anyways, so we drive, we finally make it to the area. Now, mind you, a tracker, it can show you like it doesn't show you like the exact location. Like, it'll show you like maybe like the street that is on, or the approximate location. So once we got there, we were like, it was dark, it was late. My boyfriend and I, we were in the car and we were just sitting there, and then for some reason the police just pulls up on us. And yo, surprisingly, the cop was very cool down there. I think we were in Key West, honestly. We were down in Key West. He was very cool. He was like, what y'all doing here? Do you stay around here? We like, no. We explained the situation. We showed him the phone like, hey, we host on Turo. This lady got our car. She requested a refund, and she ain't bringing our car back tonight. Neither is she responding. So the cop was all in on it, y'all. I never met a cop so cool. Like, he was so in on it. He was just he was with the crap. He was down with it to try to help us find our car. So I showed him the car. I showed him my phone. I showed him the tracking, and it was just this apartment building we were next by. And he actually let us inside of the gate, and we went up there. Did we go upstairs? Yeah, we did. Oh, what happened was, when he let us inside of the gate, I seen the Altima. I seen our vehicle. And what happened was, when I looked inside of the windshield, I seen a parking pass, and on the parking pass, it showed where the room number was, because they were in like this hotel or Airbnb, not sure. But in the windshield, there were like a parking pass. So the cops seen the parking pass, and we went up there. Um, Strange. Anyways, so we went up there and we knocking on the door. We were banging. Nobody answered the door. I believe they maybe seen us through the peephole and didn't want to answer. So the cop took us back down to the vehicle in the garage, and he was like, I'm going to go back up there. He went back up there. He came back down with our car keys, and he was like, yo, they just couldn't figure out how you found them. Like, she was so shocked. You should have saw her face. Like, and my boyfriend and me, the cops, we were in the parking lot just laughing. We were telling him about Turo, this, and that. So that was the first experience. It was horrible, right? Um, yeah, so I'm not sure how she got home. I really don't care. You had our vehicle and she got a refund. We took our vehicle back. Now, we did end up getting kicked off of Turo for that. You cannot. We have a tracker, but you cannot go and search for people who is renting your vehicle, because it's considered like a safety hazard. You know what I mean? So they don't recommend doing that. So we did get kicked off. Because that was my boyfriend's account, so he did get kicked off of Turo for that, and we were devastated. We were so devastated because that vehicle we got was financed, and we were depending on that money from Turo to pay the financing. And again, I will go over all of this in another video on how to with Turo. And So once we got kicked off, we were devastated, like I said. So we had to find another way to get back on tour, because I'm not gonna lie, the money is pretty good. You know, when you start getting bookings and they start giving you ratings or whatever, more people in the area, they want to book your vehicle. So we were devastated. We had to find another way on Turo. So this is what we did. We didn't go the finance route again. We ended up, what vehicle did we have next? We ended up getting a meet me. I call meet meets, like, like the little Mitsubishi Mirages, the little vehicles like that. We ended up getting one of those, and we paid cash for that. So we had no financing. We had a few bookings with that. A lot of college kids who was traveling down to Miami. A lot of young folks, a lot of couples with no children. Because it was a small vehicle. A lot of renters like that was renting that vehicle, and it was doing very well. We were only posting it for like 30, 35, like $32 a day. For Turo, that was pretty good, and we were delivering it. So after that, I think something happened to that vehicle. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. We went through so many vehicles with Turo, you guys. um, but that was a cash car, so we really took no loss with that vehicle. Now let's get to the next story time of how I said that no financing is the best way to go. However, I did finance again. Now it was my turn, and I started a Turo account. Um, and I go ahead and I financed the 2015 Hyundai Sonata. It was a black 2015 Hyundai Sonata. But this time, we had a good monthly rate I had to pay. Everything was cool, right? Bookings was like this. I was making good money. I was paying that car note every 2 weeks instead of once a month. That's another thing you should do when you have car payments. Make a payment every 2 weeks instead of every month. Um, it'll help bring that cost down for what you pay to the bank low. You know what I mean? Your interest down. So anyway, I get that black Hyundai Sonata, put it on Turo. Everything is lovely. I'm getting bookings, but this particular booking, my boyfriend, we'll take turns. I'll clean the car up, vacuum it, get it ready for the renter. Next renter is his turn. He'll vacuum it, get it ready for the next renter. It was his turn this day, so we usually don't see the renters when someone get the car. We'll leave the keys inside like a special place, and we'll message the renter that the keys is there and to have a great trip. All right. So, but this specific day, he was a little behind vacuuming the car. So my boyfriend was out there, and he happened to meet the two guys that was renting the car. So when my boyfriend give them the keys, they leave. My boyfriend did mention that they did look a little sketchy. You know what I mean? Like they did a little, you know what I'm saying? Or they did you know what I mean? A little something. I don't know what they did, but they did a little something. He said they looked like that. And so I'm like, okay, we have the tracker on it. We did put a tracker in his car as well. I'm like, we have the tracker in it, no worries. So they rented this day. Everyone rented our cars maybe 3-4 days at a time. So it happened to be like the second day. They didn't do much. So I'm like, hey, every day I track in the car, seeing how many miles they drove in, where they driving, did they take the vehicle out of town, are they local, whatever. Every day I just check the vehicle, make sure it's okay. So the fourth day came around, and it's time for them to bring the vehicle back. And I'm messaging them usually like an hour before they supposed to bring the vehicle back. I'll message them, and I'm like, hey, I'll see you at such and such time, usually like the hour ahead. And they'll message me back, and they say, okay, but this couple of guys, they didn't respond. So I started getting nervous, and I started tracking them on my tracker. They were so far. I stay in Miami. Those of you who are familiar with South Florida, they were way up in like West Palm Beach. That's like almost an hour from me. So I'm like, okay, they haven't messaged back. Maybe they're just, trying to do some last minute errands while they have the car. They'll head down to us soon. Needless to say, an hour passed by. They did not come. They did not message me back. They didn't say anything. So okay. So now I'm panicking because, even though I have the tracker on it, even though the Turo has insurance on the vehicles, that's your money. You know what I mean? It's like your little business. I was nervous. So I had no choice but to just wait. experiencing what I experienced from the first vehicle of them kicking us off for going to retrieve our vehicle. I didn't do anything. I just waited around for them to come. So an hour passed that after the time they were supposed to bring the vehicle. Let's say they were supposed to return it at 5 p.m. It's 6 p.m. now. So I'm messaging them. I'm writing them. I'm scared. I'm worried about my baby, my Honda. I named my car Midnight. So I'm worried about Midnight. No response. I'm calling him. No response. He'll message me back. Oh, I'm on my way. I'm looking at the tracker. No, he's not. He's still traveling up north. See, this is the things you go through when you host, like when someone have your vehicle. You can't have an emotional attachment to that vehicle, like when you're having it on like something, a platform like Turo, and using it to make money. You can't have any emotional attachment to that vehicle. It is strictly for money. And by that time, I did like Midnight, my car, but I also knew that it was just business. If anything happened to it, then I knew how to bounce back and get another car. So it's 6 o'clock now. He messaging me he's coming. No, he's not coming. It's 7 o'clock now. I'm messaging him, I'm calling him, I'm tracking him. No, he's not coming. So it's 8 o'clock now. It's 3 hours after the time he's supposed to bring my vehicle back. So I'm calling Turo, I'm talking to them, I'm telling them what's going on. And when that happens, they are on it. They usually make a report and they'll put a police report out that your vehicle is like stolen or whatever, because they don't want you to go and try to get your own vehicle, right? So they'll put it out as like stolen, right? So it's like 3 hours past the time. He's like, I'm on my way. So I check my tracker and he's finally on his way. Again, these are like the things you would have to deal with sometimes being on Turo. It's like 3.5 hours after the time he's supposed to return my vehicle. So I don't remember like tracking it at this time because he left my vehicle in my parking garage. So he just left it. He left the keys inside, and then he messaged me. It was like, your car is outside or something like that. And yeah, it was crazy. When my boyfriend went to go clean the car, he told me that he found a crack pipe, y'all. A crack pipe under one of our seats inside of the car. That is crazy. So on top of having our car 3.5 hours over the time you reserved for, you left a crack pipe, meaning he was doing drugs inside of the car. Not to mention, I do have a limit on my car. You can only drive 200 miles per day. You can modify that. You can have unlimited mileage, 400 miles a day, or whatever you want for your vehicle. But for my vehicle, I prefer to have people that's traveling to Miami and just want to stay local. I don't want people to rent my cars and take it out of town. That just put entirely too much miles on the car. So he went over the 200 miles completely. So Turo, they did pay me for those extra 3.5 hours. They charged him for the over mileage. They charged him for the over gas. They charged him for smoking crack in the car. They charged him for all of that. Did he pay them? I don't know. But did they pay us? Surely did. There were a lot of other crazy things that happened while we had our vehicle on tour, y'all. But this is the last quick story experience that I'm going to share with y'all. So this one was, let me see. I did mention that for our vehicle, we set to where the renters can only use about 200 miles per day, or they're going to be charged for the excess. They know all of this. The renters, they see all of this. They know the rules. They know my policy for the vehicle. They know all of this, right? So excuse me. So every day I was checking my tracker as I normally do because that's my money maker. That's my car. Within 2 hours of this guy having my car, he had done reach about 80 miles. 2 hours, 80 miles. And I'm like, well, maybe he stay far, maybe he driving to his house and, maybe he just stay far. And once he get home, he won't drive so much. So I just let it go. And then, okay, so a couple more hours later, y'all, he had done driven 160 miles, about 160 miles. I'm not exaggerating. I wish I still had the screenshots because I had the screenshots to show Turo for proof. Y'all, like 6-7 hours later, he already had done topped like 300 miles on the vehicle of having it within the first 6 hours. So I'm just panicking. I'm pissed because this my baby, this my money maker. You know what I mean? you can drive however many miles you want, but when you just get the car to just dog it, that's different, right? So I did message them. I didn't let them know that I was tracking them, which I should have, but I didn't say that. I just put it in so many words, so they can read between the lines, like, hey, chill the fuck out on the miles. But I messaged him and I'm like, hey, oh, the reason why I messaged him was for the miles, and also he was going extremely fast in my car. When I say he was driving so fast, he was doing the dash, because the trackers, they show you the speed and everything. He was doing about 80 to 90 miles per hour in my vehicle, hours at a time. So I messaged him, hey, can you slow down on the vehicle? Can you slow down on the riding in the car? And he messaged me back, what do you mean? I said, can you slow down using my car? He didn't, y'all. That whole entire night, he drove and drove and drove and drove and drove and drove my car until about 3, 4 in the morning. No lie. No lie. So the next day, I was like, absolutely not. I have to call Turo. This baby is just talking. I hope y'all can't hear that. So the tracker showed me that he finally parked the car at 3, 4 in the morning. I called Turo. I'm like, hell no, I can't do this. I want my car back. He's going to destroy my car. I want my car back. And Turo is just like, you know, they have to cancel. We can't cancel the booking for them midway. So I tell Turo, I say, hey, I have a tracker, which Turo does encourage having trackers. They just don't encourage you going out for your vehicle. So I told them, I say, hey, I have a tracker on my car. My car policy says 200 miles cap per day, which they can go over, but he's like over like 400 miles in like less than like 12 hours. You know what I mean? And he has this car for like 4 or 5 days. Y'all do the math. So I send Turo screenshots of how fast he's been going for, like, you can't be doing 90 miles per hour in my car 4 hours straight. So I sent them the screenshots of how long he been driving, how fast he been driving. They call him. He didn't answer. I text the number that was on, the contact, and I guess it was his wife. His wife was like, we do transportation for the immigration center or something like that. Huh? You do transportation for the immigration center? Ma'am, this is a rental car, not a transportation bus. I take a screenshot of that too. Absolutely. I need all of the proof I can get so Turo can get these scallywags out of my car. They're dogging my car. See, when it's not yours, people dog your stuff out. That's another thing about renting cars. And you can't have no emotional attachment with it. When it's not yours, when it's not theirs, they don't care about your stuff. They won't take care of it how they take care of their own vehicles. They're like, this is a rental, I'm a dog it in the ground. And that's just what they were doing. So I sent Turo all of the screenshots of the wife telling me they're doing transportation for immigration, all of the mileage they used on my car, this and that. They had the audacity to request an extra day. I declined it. And they got mad and they cut their trip early. Praise God. That's exactly what I wanted. So they tried to be slick. They tried to be slick and they didn't want to see me. They didn't want to confront me. So what they did was they tried to leave my car in the parking spot where they picked it up at and just leave it. No, ma'am. I have a tracker that I follow faithfully with my car. So I seen them when they were coming. I seen them when they were on their way, and I tracked them all the way to my parking lot. And when I seen them entering my parking lot, I take my tail all the way down there and I roll up on them. Y'all, I rolled up on them. I had my other car, so I took my car and I blocked my car that they was parking, and they were getting out. They tried to act like they didn't see me. I honked my horn. I'm like, excuse me. You use my car for Uber or a transportation car? My car is not used for that. They just kept walking. It was like walking fast, trying not to talk to me. They hopped in their Uber and they left. But yes, ma'am, you deal with a lot of things being a host on Turo. Needless to say, it's a business vehicle. Don't take things personal with that vehicle. Get in it for the money. Have a good time. And I will share more experiences if you all are interested with that app. And I think the next video that I will do a how to make money on Turo and teach you guys some ins and outs and how to get started on there. But like I said, this was just a quick video of some experiences because I was planning to give you guys a how-to on how to make money on Turo. And if you enjoyed this video, y'all, go ahead and give your girl a like. Leave me a comment down below of how you feeling, what you thinking. Subscribe to my channel. That'll help me grow tremendously. I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, you already know what it is. Peace.